Hello, my friends. It's good to have you here with me today. In this episode, we are going to step into the hidden world of secret knowledge, forbidden teachings, and shadowy societies that have tried to preserve ancient truths while staying in the shadows of history. Our topic today is the forbidden knowledge of the Gnostic Orders, a subject that has been whispered about for centuries, wrapped in mystery and feared by both religious and political authorities. As you listen, I invite you to take a moment and let me know in the comments where you are listening from and what time it is there. It's always fascinating to see where all of you are joining from around the world. Now let's go back, far back, to the first centuries of the Common Era. It was a time when the ancient world was shifting. The Roman Empire ruled over vast lands. Many religions, cults, and philosophies coexisted, often blending into each other. And in this environment, strange groups began to form. Groups who believed they had found the hidden truth about existence, the universe, and the divine. These groups would later be called Gnostics, from the Greek word Gnostics, from the Greek word gnosimi, meaning knowledge. But this was not ordinary knowledge. This was secret, forbidden knowledge. Knowledge that they believed came from a higher realm, beyond the material world. The Gnostics saw the world differently than most people. While mainstream religions taught that the world was created by a good and loving God, the Gnostics believed that the world was a prison. To them, the material world was created by a false god, a lower being whom they often called the demiurge. This demiurge, in their teachings, trapped the divine spark of humanity inside the corrupt physical world. True salvation, they taught, did not come from following rules or dogma, but from awakening this spark and escaping the material world altogether. Because these teachings directly challenged both political rulers and organized religions, Gnostic groups were often forced to meet in secret. They gathered in hidden rooms, deep in private homes, caves, or secluded gardens. Their meetings were often held at night, under the cover of darkness, when curious eyes were less likely to see them. Entry into these gatherings was carefully controlled. A trusted member would act as a gatekeeper. New initiates had to prove their sincerity and understanding before being allowed to participate. They might be tested with questions, or required to recite secret phrases that only true members would know. Inside these secret meetings, the teachings were shared orally. Written texts were rare and dangerous, as they could fall into the hands of persecutors. But some texts did survive, hidden in jars, buried in the sands of Egypt and rediscovered many centuries later. The most famous of these is the Nag Hammadi Library, found in 1945. This collection of ancient writings revealed a complex world of Gnostic thought, filled with strange cosmologies, spiritual hierarchies, and hidden rituals. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Gnostic Orders was their initiation ceremonies. These rituals were designed to symbolize the soul's journey from ignorance to enlightenment. New members might undergo ritual washings, symbolizing purification. They might be blindfolded, led through dark chambers, and confronted with symbols of death and rebirth. The blindfold would then be removed, symbolizing the opening of their spiritual eyes. In some groups, secret names were given to initiates, names known only to members, believed to carry special power in the higher realms. Symbols played a powerful role in these orders. The serpent was often seen not as a creature of evil, but as a symbol of wisdom and awakening, echoing the serpent of Eden who offered knowledge. The pleroma, or fullness of the divine realm, was depicted as a complex hierarchy of spiritual beings called eons, who existed in perfect harmony beyond the corrupt world. The Gnostic cross, often a simple equal-armed cross within a circle, represented balance between the earthly and the divine. Among the many Gnostic sects, some became especially influential and mysterious. The Scythians, for example, traced their teachings back to Seth, the third son of Adam and Eve. They believed they carried the true lineage of divine knowledge. Their texts described elaborate myths about heavenly realms, cosmic battles, and the secret role of the Savior who came to awaken humanity from its slumber. The Valentinians, followers of Valentinus, created an even more complex theology, blending Greek philosophy with mystical Christianity. Valentinus taught that the true God was utterly unknowable, and that only through secret knowledge could one ascend past the material prison. These groups often used coded language when communicating with each other. Simple phrases held deep meaning. For example, to speak of light meant spiritual knowledge. To speak of sleep or darkness meant ignorance and bondage to the material world. The language was both a way of protecting their teachings from outsiders and a way of reinforcing the bond among members who shared the same secret understanding. The danger they faced was very real. Both the Roman authorities and the growing Christian church saw the Gnostics as dangerous heretics. The church fathers, such as Irenaeus and Tertullian, wrote long treatises condemning Gnostic teachings, calling them lies of the devil. As the Christian church gained power, it declared Gnostic writings to be blasphemous. Gnostic groups were hunted down, their writings destroyed, and their members forced into hiding or killed. But not all Gnostics vanished. Some fled to distant lands. Others went deeper underground, blending into other secret groups that would carry fragments of their teachings forward into the centuries that followed. Over time, echoes of Gnostic thought appeared in other secretive movements. The Cathars of medieval France shared many Gnostic ideas. They too believed the material world was evil and that salvation came through knowledge and purity of spirit. The Cathars held secret meetings in remote castles and mountain caves. They used coded greetings and hand signs to identify fellow believers. The Catholic Church launched a brutal crusade against them in the 13th century, destroying entire communities. Yet whispers of their teachings survive. In later centuries, Renaissance scholars rediscovered ancient Gnostic texts and ideas. Secretive orders like the Rosicrucians absorbed elements of Gnostic thought, blending them with Hermetic philosophy, alchemy, and mystical Christianity. The Rosicrucians spoke of hidden masters, secret knowledge, and a spiritual transformation that could elevate humanity beyond its fallen state. Their secret symbols, manifestos, and mysterious appearance in Europe around the 17th century fueled endless speculation about their true origins. Some believe the Rosicrucians were the heirs of ancient Gnostic wisdom, preserved in secret for centuries. In parallel, the Freemasons, who emerged more visibly in the 18th century, also carried echoes of Gnostic symbolism. Their rituals of initiation, their focus on personal enlightenment, and their use of symbols like the all-seeing eye and the unfinished pyramid spoke to deeper mysteries. While Freemasonry publicly presented itself as a fraternal order focused on moral improvement, many researchers have argued that its deeper layers contain hidden teachings linked to ancient Gnostic, Hermetic, and esoteric traditions. Other secret groups drew from Gnostic ideas as well. The Illuminati, founded in Bavaria in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt, sought to create a secret society that would enlighten humanity and overthrow oppressive structures. Although the original Bavarian Illuminati was suppressed within a decade, its legend lived on, inspiring countless conspiracy theories that continue to this day. Many of these stories suggest that the Illuminati carried forward the forbidden knowledge of ancient times, hidden beneath layers of secrecy, code, and ritual. Throughout history, governments and religious powers have always feared such secret orders. The idea that small groups of initiates might possess knowledge that could undermine the official order was deeply threatening. Crackdowns were often brutal. Arrests, torture, and executions were common tools used against suspected secret societies. Yet the more authorities tried to crush these groups, the more their legend grew. Stories of secret initiation chambers beneath churches, coded manuscripts hidden in monasteries, and secret bloodlines carrying forbidden knowledge became part of Western esoteric lore. The symbols of these orders often carried multiple meanings. The rose and the cross of the Rosicrucians represented both spiritual unfolding and the union of opposites. The Ouroboros, a serpent eating its own tail, symbolized the eternal cycle of creation and destruction. The Gnostic vision of Sophia, the divine feminine wisdom trapped in the material world, became a powerful symbol of both fall and redemption. Many of these secret teachings spoke of a hidden war, not fought with swords, but with knowledge. A war between those who sought to awaken humanity to its divine nature and those who sought to keep it enslaved in ignorance. To the Gnostics and their spiritual heirs, the world was not merely a physical place, but a battlefield between light and darkness, truth and deception. As centuries passed, new secret societies emerged, often building upon these ancient traditions. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, founded in the late 19th century, drew heavily from Gnostic, Hermetic, and Kabbalistic sources. Its rituals were elaborate, involving complex invocations, magical symbols, and secret grades of initiation. Members sought not just knowledge, but actual spiritual transformation, an ascent through invisible planes of existence toward union with the divine. Even in the modern world, echoes of Gnostic thought continue. New Age movements, occult circles, and mystical sects still speak of secret knowledge, hidden dimensions, and the illusion of the material world. The core idea remains that there is a deeper truth beneath the surface of reality, accessible only to those who seek it with purity and determination. The search for forbidden knowledge has always attracted both sincere seekers and dangerous manipulators. Throughout history, some individuals have claimed to possess ancient Gnostic wisdom, using it to gather followers and build personal power. These self-declared prophets often formed new secretive groups, blending fragments of Gnostic ideas with their own inventions. In some cases, these groups turned into dangerous cults, while others maintained quiet, hidden communities focused on their private spiritual work. In the early centuries of the Christian era, some Gnostic groups may have had contact with older mystery traditions from Egypt, Persia, and Mesopotamia. The ancient Egyptian cults of Isis and Osiris carried stories of death, rebirth, and hidden wisdom. The Persian religion of Zoroastrianism spoke of a cosmic struggle between light and darkness, echoing Gnostic dualism. Some scholars believe that early Gnostic teachers blended these older traditions into their teachings, creating a complex web of symbols and myths that could speak to people from many different cultures. Even as official Christianity condemned Gnostic beliefs, some early Christian monks secretly preserved Gnostic texts in remote desert monasteries. The monks of Egypt's Pachomian monasteries, for example, lived in isolation, far from urban centers, where church authorities held less control. Hidden beneath layers of official doctrine, fragments of Gnostic wisdom survived in these remote sanctuaries, waiting to be uncovered many centuries later. The Cathars of southern France and deep spiritual knowledge. They experienced the Catholic Church's authority, denied the value of the physical world, and taught that true Christians must reject material comforts and live pure, simple lives. Their perfecti, or spiritual leaders, were known for their strict material knowledge. Their perfecti, or spiritual leaders, were known for their strict material comforts and live pure, simple lives. Their perfecti, or spiritual leaders, were known for their strict material comforts and live pure, simple lives. The Catholic Church responded with brutal force. The Albigensian Crusade, launched by Pope Innocent III in 1209, led to horrific massacres, including the infamous slaughter at Béziers, where thousands of Cathars and civilians were killed. The Inquisition followed, hunting down survivors with relentless cruelty. Yet some Cathars are believed to have escaped, disappearing into the forests and mountains, carrying their secret teachings with them. During the Renaissance, as classical learning revived, Gnostic texts resurfaced in Europe. The rediscovery of ancient Greek and Coptic manuscripts fascinated scholars who were hungry for alternative wisdom. The mysterious Corpus Hermeticum, attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, offered a blend of Greek, Egyptian, and Gnostic ideas about divine knowledge and human transformation. Secret circles of alchemists, magicians, and philosophers began studying these ancient works, often in secret, fearing accusations of heresy or witchcraft. The blending of Gnosticism with Hermeticism, Kabbalah, and alchemy gave rise to new esoteric traditions that would quietly influence European thought for centuries. In the early 17th century, mysterious documents appeared in Germany, known as the Rosicrucian Manifestos. These texts, including the Fama Fraternitatis and the Confessio Fraternitatis, described a secret brotherhood of enlightened individuals dedicated to spiritual knowledge and the transformation of society. The manifestos spoke of hidden masters, alchemical wisdom, and secret rituals designed to awaken divine consciousness. Though the actual existence of the original Rosicrucian Brotherhood remains debated, their ideas quickly spread across Europe, inspiring countless secret societies, magical orders, and underground movements. Many believe the Rosicrucians were heirs to ancient Gnostic teachings, preserving the secret knowledge passed down through hidden lines of initiates. The Freemasons, who publicly emerged in the early 18th century, developed elaborate systems of initiation that echoed many ancient mysteries. Their symbolic tools, the square, compass, and trowel, represented moral and spiritual virtues. The lodge itself was seen as a symbolic temple where members ascended through degrees of knowledge, moving closer to enlightenment. Within certain branches of Freemasonry, especially the higher degrees of the Scottish Rite, Gnostic themes are woven into the teachings. The legendary figure of Hiram Abiff, murdered while building Solomon's temple, became a symbol of the soul's fall into matter and its hope for resurrection through secret knowledge. The Bavarian Illuminati, founded by Adam Weishaupt in 1776, sought to challenge both religious authority and monarchic rule. While short-lived, the Illuminati's secret structures, coded communications, and ambitious vision of enlightenment left a lasting mark. Some researchers have suggested that the Illuminati, like other secret societies, borrowed heavily from earlier Gnostic and esoteric traditions, blending them with Enlightenment ideals of reason and liberty. Though the original order was dismantled, the myth of the Illuminati persisted, growing into elaborate theories of hidden global control and secret masters manipulating world events. In the 19th century, the rise of occult societies like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn reflected a new hunger for secret knowledge. Founded in 1888 by 3 Freemasons in London, the Golden Dawn developed complex rituals drawn from Gnostic, Hermetic, Kabbalistic, and Egyptian sources. Members studied secret correspondences between planets, elements, angels, and divine names. Rituals involved detailed visualizations, sacred invocations, and symbolic journeys through inner worlds. Famous members such as the controversial Aleister Crowley brought both fame and scandal to the order, which eventually splintered into rival factions. Another significant group was the Theosophical Society, founded by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky in 1875. Blavatsky claimed to have received secret teachings from hidden masters in Tibet, blending Eastern philosophy with Western esotericism. The Theosophical movement revived many Gnostic ideas, including the belief that humanity was part of a long cosmic evolution with hidden truths accessible only to a spiritual elite. Theosophy's teachings would later influence modern New Age thought, which often echoes Gnostic ideas about the illusion of the material world and the quest for inner awakening. In the 20th century, even as traditional secret societies declined, interest in Gnostic ideas surged once again. The discovery of the Nag Hammadi Library in 1945 transformed scholarly understanding of early Gnosticism. These ancient manuscripts, buried for nearly 1,600 years in the Egyptian desert, revealed a rich diversity of Gnostic beliefs. Texts like the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Philip, and the Apocryphon of John offered visions of Jesus and salvation very different from the official Christian canon. In these writings, Jesus appears not as a sacrificial savior, but as a spiritual teacher guiding his followers to awaken their inner divine spark. The Nag Hammadi texts also described complex cosmologies filled with strange figures, archons, aeons, and divine emanations. The figure of Sophia, representing divine wisdom, appears again and again, often as a tragic being who falls from the pleroma into the material world, becoming trapped and needing redemption. These vivid stories continue to captivate modern readers, suggesting that beneath conventional religion lies a vast hidden landscape of mystical experience. Even today, small secretive groups claim to carry on Gnostic traditions. Some gather in private homes, others meet in small online communities, sharing ancient texts and discussing secret meanings. Modern Gnostic churches exist quietly, offering alternative spiritual paths for those drawn to inner knowledge rather than external authority. While no longer hunted as heretics, many of these groups still prefer discretion, aware that mainstream society may misunderstand or reject their teaching. The story of Gnostic orders and their forbidden knowledge is one of constant tension between secrecy and discovery, between persecution and survival, between light and darkness. These groups have appeared again and again across history, always hidden just beneath the surface of accepted belief. Whether in ancient deserts, medieval castles, or secret lodges in modern cities, the quest for secret knowledge has never fully disappeared. It whispers from the shadows, calling out to those who dare to seek the truth behind the veil of the visible world. The persistence of Gnostic ideas across so many different times and cultures raises an important question. Why has this forbidden knowledge refused to die? The answer may lie in the universal human hunger to understand the deeper meaning of existence, beyond what we can see, touch, or measure. Gnosticism speaks to that longing. It tells a story that resonates across generations, the story of a hidden truth locked inside the human soul, buried beneath layers of illusion, suffering, and false authority. Throughout the centuries, new waves of secret groups have surfaced, each claiming to hold fragments of this ancient wisdom. During the early 20th century, one of the most influential of these was the Anthroposophical Society, founded by Rudolf Steiner. Steiner combined elements of Gnostic thought with Christian mysticism, reincarnation, and esoteric cosmology. He spoke of higher worlds, accessible through spiritual development and inner discipline. Steiner taught that modern civilization had lost touch with the spiritual realm, and that only through conscious effort could humanity reclaim its forgotten divine nature. As Europe descended into war and turmoil in the first half of the 20th century, secret societies were once again viewed with suspicion by political authorities. Totalitarian regimes in Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union cracked down on secret orders, viewing any form of independent spiritual activity as a threat to their control. In Germany, the Nazi regime simultaneously persecuted many secret societies while appropriating certain occult and esoteric symbols for its own purposes. The swastika, for example, originally a sacred symbol in ancient Eastern religions, was twisted into a symbol of terror and domination. There are persistent rumors that some high-ranking Nazi officials were involved with secret occult orders that dabbled in Gnostic-like beliefs, blending Aryan mythology, esoteric symbolism, and twisted spiritual doctrines. Groups like the Thule Society, which influenced early Nazi ideology, are often cited in these stories. While much of this remains shrouded in speculation and myth, it illustrates how secret knowledge, whether real or imagined, can become a powerful tool in the hands of those who seek control. After the devastation of World War II, the landscape of secret societies changed. Many of the traditional orders weakened or fragmented, while new forms of spirituality began to spread. The rise of the counterculture in the 1960s sparked a renewed interest in Gnosticism, mysticism, and secret knowledge. In this era, books like Philip K. Dick's novels brought Gnostic themes to popular culture. Dick often spoke of hidden realities, false gods controlling the world, and the struggle of the individual to awaken to higher truth. His personal experiences with what he called the Valis experience, a strange vision of divine knowledge, echo ancient Gnostic descriptions of sudden illumination. In its essence, decent people do not exist. His personal experiences with what he called the Valis experience, a strange vision of divine knowledge, ethics, and estimate, echo ancient Gnostic descriptions of sudden illumination. At the same time, certain secretive groups continued to operate quietly, adapting to the modern world. Organizations such as Embark, the ancient and mystical order Rosiae Crucis, presented themselves as heirs to the Rosicrucian tradition, offering structured lessons in esoteric wisdom to members around the world. Their teachings blended ancient Gnostic principles with modern mystical psychology, meditation, and personal development. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, secret societies began to intersect with the expanding digital world. The internet offered new ways for small, scattered groups to connect and share forbidden knowledge. Online forums, encrypted chat rooms, and private networks became the new meeting places for modern seekers. Ancient texts, once hidden in monasteries or secret libraries, were now freely accessible online, allowing anyone curious enough to dive into these complex teachings. But with this new access came new dangers. The internet also became a breeding ground for disinformation, wild conspiracy theories, and distorted versions of Gnostic and esoteric teachings. Popular culture often romanticized secret societies, turning them into mysterious villains or omnipotent puppet masters in movies, television shows, and novels. While entertaining, these portrayals often twisted the true historical complexities of groups like the Gnostics, Freemasons, Rosicrucians, and Illuminati. Despite this, genuine seekers continue to explore the rich landscape of Gnostic wisdom. In academic circles, scholars have delved deeply into the newly discovered Gnostic texts, carefully reconstructing their beliefs and practices. Conferences and publications explore the many layers of Gnostic symbolism, revealing a spiritual tradition that was far more diverse and sophisticated than once believed. The Gnostic Gospels, as they are now often called, offer glimpses into a hidden world where spiritual awakening was seen as a personal inner journey, guided not by priests or institutions, but by direct experience and secret knowledge. Throughout all these centuries, the core message of Gnostic orders has remained remarkably consistent. They teach that the world we see is not the true reality. They tell us that we are divine beings trapped in a world of illusion, ruled by false powers who seek to keep us asleep. And they promise that through secret knowledge, gnosis, we can awaken, remember our divine origin, and return to the fullness of the true God. This message is both deeply liberating and profoundly dangerous. It empowers the individual, but it threatens established powers who claim to possess the only true path. This is why Gnostic orders have always attracted fierce opposition from religious, political, and social authority. The burning of Gnostic texts, the persecution of secret societies, and the relentless efforts to suppress these teachings reflect a larger historical pattern. The conflict between those who demand obedience and those who seek liberation through secret knowledge. Even now, in our modern world of science and technology, echoes of Gnostic thinking remain. Many spiritual teachers speak of awakening from the illusion of materialism. Philosophers debate whether our entire universe might be a kind of simulation, an idea not so different from ancient Gnostic claims that the world is an illusion created by a false god. The language has changed, but the underlying questions remain the same. In some ways, the Gnostic orders may never fully vanish because the questions they raise are eternal. What is the true nature of reality? Who controls the world we live in? Can we awaken from ignorance and discover our true selves? These questions have haunted humanity for millennia, and they will likely continue to do so for as long as we exist. The hidden rooms where the first Gnostic initiates gathered in secret may be long gone. The desert monasteries where forbidden texts were hidden have crumbled. The castles where Cathars once held their secret councils lie in ruins. Yet, the forbidden knowledge they guarded still whispers to those willing to listen. Hidden not in physical places, but within the mysteries of the human soul. This is the story of the forbidden knowledge of the Gnostic orders. A story of hidden truths, secret rituals, lost books, and mysterious brotherhoods that dared to seek what others feared. A story that continues even now, beneath the surface of our visible world.